Welcome back. I accidentally pushed stop instead of pause, so now you get part 2 of our video sequence here. Here is our sentence. Swinging gives Adley joy, but baking brings me pleasure, as long as someone else does the dishes. So let's go ahead and get started. What did I say was exciting about gerunds? You find a verb plus an ing. So before we do anything else, let's go ahead and mark those with a box, I think we'll do. Swinging gives Adley pleasure, but baking brings me pleasure. Okay, so first let's start with our sentence. Oh, no. First, let's start with our bookmarks here. Do you have your bookmark out? So, number 1, what is the purpose of our sentence? I have a period there. I thought about making an exclamation point, but just a period, which means that it is declarative. Next, do I have any prepositional phrases? You see any? Nope, I don't have any prepositional phrases in here. Next, conjunctions or relative pronouns. Well, I have a but, for and nor but or yet so, and, ready for this one? I have a subordinating conjunction there, a subordinating phrase it would be. If you look on your conjunction here, this is going to be under subordinating conjunctions, and under more subordinating conjunctions we have as long as, along with as soon as and although and in order that. Those are all subordinating conjunctions. So, as long as is going to be a subordinating conjunction. Okay, and then but is a conjunction. Okay, next, clauses. We're going to do 1 underline for our independent clause, 2 underlines for our dependent clause. Swinging gives Adley joy. That's 1 independent clause, right? 1 subject, 1 verb. But baking brings me pleasure. Again, that is 1 independent clause. And then I have another conjunction, and I have someone else does the dishes. That is another, as long as someone else does the dishes. There we go. Do you need to pause it? Okay, fun fact. My husband came in and he was watching me and he makes me nervous and I started blushing and I forgot what I was doing. So, coming back to this, as long as is a subordinating conjunction, it introduces adverbial subordinate clauses, which means that this is a dependent clause. Someone else does the dishes. As long as someone else does the dishes. Okay, so our structure, we have an independent clause. An independent clause, it is joined by a fanboy, and we have a dependent clause that is hanging on off of it, which means that our sentence structure is going to be compound complex, right? At least 2 independent clauses with a fanboy and a dependent clause. So let's change marker colors and start parsing our sentence. How about some blue? Okay, so starting off, swinging gives Adley joy. What gives Adley joy? Swinging. Swinging is going to be our subject noun. It is a verb with a present participle ending, and it is being used as a noun. So, it is a gerund. Swinging gives, swinging what? Swinging gives. Gives what? Swinging gives joy. Joy is going to be our direct object, which means that gives is going to be a verb transitive. And then to or for who? Who is the joy given to? Well, it's given to Adley. So she's going to be our indirect object, right? Okay. Next, we've got baking. Again, it's a verb with a present participle ing ending, and it's being used as a noun. What brings me pleasure? Baking does. Subject noun. Baking what? Baking brings. What does baking bring? Baking brings pleasure. To or for who? For me. That's going to be my indirect object, which means that brings is going to be a verb transitive. Okay, here's our subordinating conjunction, as long as, and then here's our dependent clause. Someone else does the dishes. Someone, or who does the dishes? Someone else. This is going to be a subject pronoun. Someone what? Someone does. Verb. Someone does what? Does dishes. This means this is a verb transitive, and else is going to be an adjective answering which. Who does the dishes? Which does the dishes? Someone else. Someone other than me does the dishes. Okay? So we have an adjective modifying a pronoun. Very fun. Now we are going to try our hands at diagramming it. Last time I paused the video and then it just kind of appeared here. This time let's try to do it together and see if you guys can do it as well, okay? So start off with swinging gives Adley joy. Now, if you're not doing verbal, the gerbil at home, then you probably haven't learned how we diagram our gerunds. So I will show you right here. It's going to be on stilts like this, and then we're going to step it down like that, almost like you are walking downstairs, or you can say, think stepping. Stepping, it's a verb plus ing. You are stepping downstairs when you have a gerund, okay? So, swinging gives Adley joy. Ready? I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to write it at an angle here. Swinging. What does swinging do? It gives. And then remember we have an indirect object. So swinging gives to Adley. And what does it give Adley? Joy. That should not have been capitalized. Sorry. There we go. And now our first conjunction, but, dot, 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 but, okay, what's next? Baking brings me pleasure. Okay, it's going to look the same. Let's give ourselves some room here. Baking is going to go up on the stilts, written at an angle, but not capitalized this time. Baking. What does baking do? It brings to or for who? For me. And what does it bring? It brings pleasure. Okay. And now it gets a little bit trickier because look, we have an as long as. Subordinating conjunctions are written on the dash. I have a baby here. Can you hear him? Subordinating conjunctions written on the dash as long as. So I'm going to come from my verb and I'm going to go at an angle like this and hope that I give myself enough room here. Ready? As long as. Perfect. And now we have one more. Subject pronoun is going to be someone. Someone. Someone what? Does. There's my verb. And does what? Dishes. Which dishes? The dishes. And who is that someone? It's going to be someone else because I like it better when I don't have to do the dishes. So there we go. We have two gerunds a conjunction, a subordinating conjunction, connecting our verbs written on the dotted line, okay? And then we have a pronoun that's being modified. What do we think about that? Pretty good? Do you like it? Did I get it right? I hope so. You know that I called and double checked with other people before I presented it before you. Okay, so I don't know, the feedback I'm getting is that maybe not too many of you were able to get the short story critique written for IEW. That's totally okay. It's Tuesday and I'm just now shooting your guys' video for week 23. We are all running behind. So what I think I'm gonna do is create a post on my page, on my Facebook page. And if any of you have done your short story and would like to read it and have your parent record it, and then you can upload it there, and then the other kids can get on and watch it, that would be just fun, I think. Also, another option would be for you to be able to record your Faces of History if anyone is still working on that. If you have a Faces of History presentation, you are welcome to get in your costume and do your makeup and your crazy hair or whatever you're doing, and go ahead and present your Faces of History, and then you can also post that on there, and we would absolutely love to be able to see what everyone has come up with. I was so looking forward to seeing my Martin Luthers and their 95 thesis, and my famous painters and musicians up there and composers presenting with that awesome backdrop. It's not going to happen. It has been suggested that maybe we could do it on Zoom. If enough interest was there, we could definitely set up a Zoom meeting and we could all present if you guys are interested in doing that, but there is no pressure because this is not a typical situation, and I think it's really important that we give each other grace. And this is supposed to be about learning in the midst of life, and so sometimes you just have to make adjustments as you see fit. So if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, you are more than welcome to call me, text me, email me. This week for IEW, we were going to be doing the same thing. I'm supposed to introduce another, it was another short story that you were then going to write a critique on. I think it's a lot more fun and maybe easy to grasp by using the Pixar shorts because they are just so brief, 5 minutes or less, and you can pull a lot of information out of there. More information than you realized was actually put into one of those shorts. But you guys, let me know. Let me know if you need help. I'm sorry that the video last week cut off towards the end. I don't know what that was about, but I had already deleted it off of my phone because it was a lot of data. So I am sorry about that. And as far as what I'm going to do for this week, I'm not sure because I accidentally stopped it in the middle, and so now we've got 2 videos. So I'll figure it out when I upload it. But I just thank you for having grace with me, and I want to remind you and encourage you to have grace and patience with each other as we're in such a weird situation. And I hope that you are blessed this week. I hope that you stay well. I hope that you are washing your hands constantly and fully stocked in all of your necessities. And if you guys need anything, please let me know, okay? I will talk to you next week, and I'll see you later. Bye.